It's the Rob Carson Show. Are you ready to be podsmacked? Now, here's Rob Carson.
Hey guys, the episode 121 of the podcast. Recording it on the 26th of June. It's a Monday. Had a nice weekend with the family. Had my daughter's 12th birthday party. That was a lot of fun. Kind of frightening. She's going to be a teenager. But one of the things that I thought was kind of interesting, and I've got a slate of things we're going to get to on the show. Some political, some not so much. Some great audio today. I've got some stories that you're gonna love. So we'll get to that in a minute. But it's interesting. The 12th birthday party, all the kids brought gifts, actual gifts. And this is just different because my son's birthday parties, and he's 17, when he's at birthday parties, I mean, since he was probably 11 or 12 years old, just gift cards. So it's kind of interesting. It might be a battle of the sexes kind of thing. You know, the girls bring gifts, but I thought it was kind of nice for a change to see thoughtful gifts being brought rather than just a gift card. Although there's nothing wrong with a gift card. I like gift cards. Gift cards are good. My birthday's in October, by the way. All right. All right. I want to thank our sponsors, Dr. Alex Nelson. My wife has been having debilitating migraines, and she can't get anything to fix it. And I said, why don't you just consider going to see Dr. Alex Nelson? She's going to. All right. Dr. Alex Nelson can help you with migraines, headaches, shoulder pain, low back pain, neck pain, neuropathy. All of these things, you ought to consider it, guys. And there's a good chance your insurance is going to cover it. If you're a veteran or a veteran's family member, a $30 adjustment available for you. You just need that back adjustment that works so brilliantly. Decompression for herniated low back discs rather than going in and get needles stuck in your spine. How about that? Fountain of Health. Or Fountain of Life Chiro. Sorry about that. Fountainoflifechiro.com. The number is 816-741-4711. 816-741-4711. They're on North Congress Avenue in Kansas City. Also, Grass Monsters KC. Grass Monsters KC having a busy summer there. They're selling these terrific American-made mowers. Hustlers made in Kansas. Dixie Chopper, of course, made in Indiana. If you've got a commercial mowing setup going, they're perfect. They last forever. They're built like a brick excrement house. If you want a residential mower, you might consider the Z2 from Dixie Chopper. It is a spectacular mower. It'll probably last you the rest of your life. They got great financing available as well on either of these mowers. Again, it is grassmonsterskc.com, 5520 Raytown Road, Raytown Mow. Just tell Andrew that you were listening to the Rob Carson podcast. He'll set you up. So the big news of today is a victory in the Supreme Court for Donald Trump. It basically reinstates the Trump travel ban until the fall. And this would allow extreme vetting from countries like Iran, Libya, Somalia, Sudan, Syria, and Yemen. All right? That could be enforced. The ban could be enforced as long as they lack a credible claim of a bona fide relationship with a person or identity or entity in the United States. So we'll see. This is a victory for Trump. This is a lot of people are saying it's anti-Muslim, although it's not anti-Muslim. These countries were chosen actually by the Obama administration. So that's that. All right. That's the big political story of the day today. Megyn Kelly continues to sink into the abyss as far as ratings are concerned. Her fourth show, Sunday Night with Megyn Kelly, oh, man. It's got a 0.4 rating with adults 18 to 49, 3.4 million viewers. Now, this means that 0.4% of the viewing audience is watching the show. So less than 0.5% of the viewing audience is watching the show. It lost to 60 Minutes, which was down from the last new episode, June 11th, but drew 7.2 million viewers. She was also outpaced by the reruns of America's Funniest Home Videos. On ABC, Celebrity Family Feud, 7.1 million. Steve Harvey's Thunderdome, dear God, 5.5 million. $100,000 Pyramid, 5.2 million. Unbelievable. Man, I'll tell you what, broadcast television is just awful. I mean, it sucks. Did you hear what I just said? Celebrity Family Feud, Steve Harvey's Thunderdome, $100,000 Pyramid, 60 Minutes, America's Funniest Home Video. What the hell? This is why so many people are pulling the plug. I did. And I ended up getting it back because I needed my local news. I was away from the cable, from DirecTV, for about a month and a half. Just couldn't take it. The subscription services were not enough. They were not enough. Honestly, they just were not enough. So I got the basic package. I got only 145 channels. Think about how funny that is. It's like I only got 145 channels. This is, I had 700, but we're going to really scrape by with just 145 channels and still nothing on. Apparently, email hacked from Hillary Clinton's presidential campaign chairman John Podesta and published by WikiLeaks shows that the Clintons got $1 million from the government to Qatar for Bill Clinton's 65th birthday. That isn't a gift card. That's not a gift card there, folks. So that would seemingly violate an ethics agreement Hillary Clinton signed with when she became Secretary of State, which she promised the foundation would notify the State Department's ethics officials if a new foreign government wanted to donate or increase materially its contributions. So crooked as the day is long, folks. Crooked as the day is long. Hillary Clinton took some heat for tweeting over the weekend, and this is very troublesome for me because, we just had Congressman Steve Scalise shot with, a staffer and two police officers in a park in Arlington, Virginia, and a week later, we've got people Hillary Clinton tweeting, forget death panels. If Republicans pass this bill, they're the death party. They're the death party. And we've heard a bunch of other people freaking out. Here's Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders cranking up the rhetoric literally 2 weeks after this shooting massacre attempt, and then the two people are still in the hospital.
The Senate Republicans had to make a choice how to pay for all those juicy tax cuts for their rich buddies. I'll tell you how. Blood money. People will die. Let's be very clear.
Wow.
Senate Republicans are paying for tax cuts for the wealthy.
And let us be clear, Andrea, and this is not trying to be overly dramatic. Thousands of people will die.
Okay, now, this is the same party that has done nothing about the VA, where thousands of people have died waiting for treatment, but people are freaking out. And this doesn't help anything. By calling the Republicans the death party, honestly, if you said the same thing about the Democrat Party, don't you suppose someone would freak out just a little bit? The death party? Here's a little montage of Democrats freaking about repealing and replacing Obamacare.
I've had people, my phones have been ringing off the hook from people like the mother with a child that has hemophilia, and she's scared to death that she's not going to be able to get the prescription drugs that he needs to have a quality of life. The family's got a person in opioid addiction treatment right now, and they that their daughter will die if she doesn't have that, and it's covered by Medicaid. These are real people.
Give them a little
so get Medicaid then.
relief on the backs of poor people, on the backs of
Oh, God, how many times do we need to hear this crap?
old people in nursing homes.
Explain that in detail.
Because they're the ones who are going to have money and services pulled out from under them.
That's not
Why some guy who makes $500,000 a year is going to get a little ease in his taxes, which he's not even going to notice, by the by. But that homeless mom is going to notice a lot when her baby can't go to healthy baby care. Trust.
23 million people off of health insurance. If you cut Medicaid by over $800 billion, there is no question but that thousands of Americans will die.
Now, this is not a cut of Medicare. By the way, Medicare and Medicaid are not going to be cut. The rate of increase will be decreased. All right? Now, I want you to think about that. In your own personal life, if next year you were going to be able to spend more because you were making more, but not as much as you would have liked to have, would you consider that a cut? Say, for instance, you are supposed to make $120,000 next year, and right now you're making $110,000, and they give you $115,000 instead. Would you consider that a cut? No, you wouldn't consider that a cut. It's just absurd. It's inflammatory, and it's dangerous. That's the real hate speech in the country. That's where the hate is coming from. Portland police officer Michael Marshman, he's a police chief, revealed on Friday they had these Antifa protesters around, And June 4th, they had some in Oregon. And apparently the mayor thought that the police were heavy-handed. The ACLU said that the police response was excessive. Mayor Wheeler demanded reasons from the police department as to why they responded to rioters' tactics in the way they did. You want to hear what the rioters were doing, kids? It looks like the rioters were protesting and they used gopher gassers, which are small rodent poison gas devices, throwing at the police. These are poison gas bombs being thrown at the police. They were being hurled and shot from slingshot-type devices. Also, they included feces-filled balloons and urine-filled balloons, balloons with unknown chemicals, marbles, bricks, and rocks. All right? And they also witnessed rioters apparently throwing used tampons at the police. Explaining why the protester was corralled, Marshman claimed that his task force was simply attempting to cut down on the potential of violent attacks between the alt-left, oh my God, they said alt-left, and alt-right groups who had gathered to face off. I say let him go for it. Let him go for it. But as far as the Antifa, this is how they've been doing it. This is how the various protests around the country have been taking place. And this is the modus operandi. And if you're just hearing this for the first time, this has been going on for a while. This has been going on for any left-led protest. A lot of them end up with that kind of stuff. Poison gas canisters for throwing at police and then disgusting bodily fluids. I don't blame it. I think the police need to crack some heads. I really do. I think they need to crack some heads. I know there are a lot of serious things in the news today. I've got a bunch of stuff that I'm going to get to here that's much less serious, including, would your dog eat you if you died in the house? There is a definitive study out. Also, a beverage from the 90s is making a comeback. A beverage from the 90s, and I'll bet you know what it is if you're thinking it's alcoholic. We're going to get to that. A kindergarten teacher doesn't understand why her Christian school has fired her because she refused to quit being a porn star. And Bill Maher has a couple funny things to talk about the environment and why he's chosen not to have children. And I'm glad he is not having children, by the way. Now, this next piece here, there is some graphic language. I'm just going to tell you. I chose not to edit it because I wanted you to hear it. Phil Montag was fired from his party position in the Democrat Party in Nebraska when a recording was published online, and then he was fired from his job with an insurance company as well. So he was let go, and he was basically talking about House Minority Whip Steve Scalise being shot and nearly killed last week. Now, here's the audio of the conversation, and obviously this guy is the guy using the F-bombs.
Right now. So what is it that you want to do?
Let me tell you, that motherfucker is the one that was shot, the Scafey guy. I mean, that guy, what's his name? Shacey?
I really don't want you to deflect right now.
No, this motherfucker, like, his whole job is, like, to get people, convince Republicans to fucking kick people off fucking health.
Okay.
We know all of
I
this.
hate this motherfucker.
Yeah.
Class act. I mean, a real class act there. Talking to Democrat Party operatives. I mean, that's really classy and professional.
All of this.
I'm
Phil,
fucking glad he got
Phil,
shot.
we've laid in
I'm
our...
glad he got shot.
So then say
Dude,
I'm not going to
but-
fucking say that in public.
You don't have
Well,
to say
then
that
what
in
are you
public.
saying it to us
Say
for?
something. Say something.
What are you telling us for?
I wish he was fucking dead.
Why are you telling us, but not telling anyone else?
I'm trying to fucking figure out this
It's
shit
okay,
out.
because I've been recording this conversation since you've come in, so I will publicly release it myself.
Good. And I'm glad they did. That somebody actually did the right thing. All right? Guy was fired. He sounded like he might have been a little intoxicated. Maybe that's part of it. I'm not sure. He told the Omaha World Herald that his words were taken out of context. He did not call for the congressman's death. Yeah, well, he didn't call for the death. He just wishes the congressman were dead. What a class act. Dear God. Nebraska Democrat Party Chair Jane Klebe terminated Montag from his position after learning of the tape. Quote, this violent rhetoric and this hate and these conspiracy theories has to stop. This is literally not helping anybody in the country. Montag also found himself without a day job by the end of Friday. So what a douche. You know, honestly, just being a douche. Oh, this is a funny story. You know, we talk about vote tampering and the Russians and all this stuff and whatever. And there was some news about that, by the way, over the weekend. Apparently, the President, Barack Obama, knew about it. He knew that the Republicans were trying to hack, or not the Republicans, the Russians were trying to hack into the voting system in America. So that was the other, I guess, big political story of the day, that he knew about it, and all this vote hacking, and it's a non-story. It's a non-story. There's no collusion by the Trump administration or the Trump transition team or the Trump team, period. But this is kind of funny. There was some vote tampering apparently in a class president election in a Marietta Valley Unified School District high school. Denise Marie Peterson resigned as Associated Student Body Advisor. Gets to keep the job as a teacher, but apparently she was actually tampering to throw the election. Listen to the news story.
Local students are learning a tough lesson in dirty politics.
A high school advisor is accused of rigging the results from at least 3 elections. And our Crystal Cruz is live in Marietta, where the vote tampering is the talk of the town. Crystal?
That's right. And a district spokesperson confirmed a parent sounded the alarm, saying the math just did not add up here. And as it turns out, something fishy was going on.
By the way, the kids who ended up losing the election, their politics tended to lean conservative. Thought you should know.
You wouldn't think that somebody like an adult that you trust and you like talk to on an everyday basis would do something like that.
Students around Marietta are hearing the surprising allegations about a Vista Marietta High School counselor accused of tampering with student body elections.
As an adult and as someone that the kids probably would look up to and different things like that, I think it's really low, and I don't think that they should have some type of consequence.
According to a Marietta Valley District spokesperson, Denise Peterson resigned from her role as Associated Student Body Director. The principal sent an email to parents that reads in part, during the course of our investigation, the electronic voting service
they had an electronic voting service at a high school election.
Use confirmed that fraudulent votes were cast that changed the outcome of 3 races, including next year's senior class president.
Wow.
The principal went on to write, this is a...
How important, I mean, listen, student body president, okay, whatever. My son ran for office in school, and he got the school treasurer, I guess, which is a joke because he can't even manage his checking account. But I mean, how important is a student body presidential election that you'd want to throw it because the kid's too conservative?
Very unfortunate and disappointing situation.
At that age, they put a lot of their energy and hopes and talent into.
It would be heartbreaking knowing that person was supposed to win and then didn't.
A district spokesperson says 6 students were affected, 3 named winners and 3 actual winners who will fill the seats. The spokesperson didn't know why a school staffer would tamper with the election.
Your heart be broken, like thinking that you didn't win, and then you find out you win, and then you'd feel bad for the people next to you.
Unbelievable. Honestly, I just don't even know what to say. This person needs to be fired. I mean, come on. That you would do this? What kind of a heartless douche are you? And I've used that word twice today. That you would throw an election where, you know, kids legitimately want to win, break some hearts, and just kind of let it go. What kind of person does that? Honestly, what the heck? I mean, really, what the heck? Oh, a couple of professors behaving badly. A professor argued that colleges should ban fraternities, which hoard power and influence specifically for white men. In May, this person said, Lisa Wade, sociology professor at Occidental College in California. I don't even know why it's not going to happen. So why would you write this? This is a quote from a posting. Reform is not possible because the old line, historically white social fraternities, have been synonymous with risk-taking and defiance from their very inception. They are a brotherhood born in mutiny and forged in the fire of rebellion. What? These fraternities have drink, danger, and debauchery in their blood right alongside secrecy and self-protection. It says, I don't think it's a good idea to be encouraging young males to identify specifically as men over and against women in this country anymore. She said this in a radio interview, I guess, called The Here and Now. We went to the moon. We gave women the vote. It's absurd that we still allow young men to put together single-sex organizations that are designed to hoard power and influence specifically for wealthy white men. On top of that, we allow them to be the most dangerous places on college campuses in ways that everyone knows are illegal. Okay? She did express hesitation on Twitter about considering black fraternities. I was never a frat guy. I just went to all their parties. I never joined, but I was in the media, I was on the radio, and so I just went to all the parties. I had a good time, and I didn't even try to date rape anybody. I know, crazy, right? All right, another university professor has been fired. Name is Catherine Detweiler. Now you know the story of Otto Warmbier. Warmbier, I should say. He went to North Korea. He took down a propaganda poster, and was sentenced to 15 years in hard labor. Came back brain dead, and then ultimately died at 22 years old. North Koreans murdered him. There have been a lot of people on the left saying that he deserved it. This university professor basically said, "Is it wrong of me to think that Otto Warmbier got exactly what he deserved?" ? The no longer employed professor wondered on Facebook. He went to North Korea for F's sake, and then acted like a spoiled, naive, arrogant U.S. student who had never had to face the consequences of his actions. 62-year-old anthropology professor and expert on breastfeeding, apparently, I don't know what that has to do with anything, was even more critical of Warmbier in her National Review comments. Quote, "Otto is typical of the mindset of a lot of young, white, rich, clueless mates who come into my classrooms. These are the same kids who cry about their grades because they didn't think they'd really have to read and study the material to get in a good grade. They simply deserve a good grade for being who they are. Or instead of crying, they bluster and threaten their female professors." Detweiler blamed Warmbier's parents for allowing their son to grow up, thinking he could get away with whatever he wanted to. Young, white, rich, clueless white males routinely get away with raping women in the United States. Honestly, this is the hate speech. This is the hate speech. This isn't a lot of times on the left they'll say hate speech is hate speech. The hate speech is speech that they hate. All right. So if Ann Coulter wants to speak on campus, or Milo Yiannopoulos, that's hate speech, right? This is the hate speech. I mean, there's no doubt that there's hate behind this. And it's a very anti-white thing, And again, this bothers me because I'm sending my kid to college. My son, Will, has never had a racist thought in his mind. He's going to be going to college in this atmosphere in a year. Oh, I've got something really funny here. Chicago's Dyke March. There's some details on the Dyke March coming up and who they excluded. Apparently the Dykes are anti-Semites. I'm not sure, but I do want to mention, again, if you're thinking about getting a mower, and you want one that is built that'll last you forever, all right? That you can take out every week and you're going to enjoy riding it. It's a zero-turning radius mower. Consider a Dixie Chopper or a Hustler from Grass Monsters KC, grassmonsterskc.com. They're at 5520 Raytown Mo. I would recommend you go over, you talk to Andrew, and he'll let you test drive one right there on the lot, and you will be changed forever, all right? Whatever you want. If you got a residential mower you want, or if you got an industrial mower you want, you got a lot of acreage you just want to take care of, Dixie Chopper and Hustler, the two best brands. I swear I see so many Hustler and Dixie Choppers around here. GrassMonstersKC.com. That's GrassMonstersKC.com. All right, so there was a big Pride March this weekend, apparently. I'm not sure exactly what it was all about, because there was another gay rights march a couple weeks ago on the anniversary of the Pulse nightclub shooting. But they had a Pride Day, I guess, on Saturday in New York City, and it ended up, it's just a political march now. It's a very anti-Trump, very anti-Republican, very pro-left-leaning organizations. It has jumped the shark. It is no longer, the gay rights movement is no longer a gay rights movement. It is a political movement that leans left. That's all there is to it. There's nothing proud. Oh, it's nothing you should be really proud of. There's a guy skating around naked with a sock on his schlong. That was the kind of stuff. I mean, how proud of that are you, really? I mean, are you proud of that? Are you proud of leading another man around by a dog collar? Does that make you proud? That's not pride. If you're proud of that, But that's what happened this weekend, and it was very left-leaning and political. Nikki Haley was in New York. She got booed by people because of her political ideology. And basically, last week, they didn't allow GOP, conservative, or Trump-supporting groups in the parades. If you're a gay Trump supporter, you're not allowed. That's why it's jumped the shark. Attendees of the Chicago Dyke March who carried Jewish LGBT pride flags were made to leave on Saturday, according to a report. The flags, which featured the Star of David over the LGBT rainbow, allegedly made people feel unsafe and upset attendees who claimed that the march was anti-Zionist and pro-Palestinian. It was a flag for my congregation, which celebrates my queer Jewish identity, which I have done for over a decade, marching in the Dyke March with the same flag, said one woman who was made to leave the march for carrying the flag, adding that numerous other attendees harassed her. They were telling me to leave because my flag was a trigger. It was a trigger. What the hell? What's wrong with being triggered? So you get a little pissed off or offended. You're triggered. Who cares? To people who have found it offensive. Prior to this, I've never been harassed or asked to leave, and I've always carried the flag with me because the gay rights movement is now a political movement. And if you are a Democrat and you are left-leaning, you are generally anti-Israel. Quote, it's hard to swallow the idea of inclusion when you are excluding people from that. People are saying, you can be gay, but not in this way. We did not feel welcome. We did not feel included. Another attendee also claimed that they felt excluded from the march because of their Jewish identity. I was here as a proud Jew in all my identities. The Dyke March is supposed to be intersectional. I don't know why my identity is excluded from that. I felt that as a Jew, I'm not welcome here. Well, welcome to it, guys. Welcome to being a Democrat. Welcome to being a leftist. This is Chicago. This is the Chicago Dyke March tweeted an official response. Quote, sadly, our celebration of Dyke queer and trans solidarity was partially overshadowed by our decision to ask 3 individuals carrying Israeli flags superimposed on rainbow flags to leave the rally. This decision was made after they repeatedly expressed support for Zionism during conversations with the Chicago Dyke March members. We have learned that at least one of these individuals is a regional director for a wider bridge, an organization with connections to the Israel state and right-wing pro-Israel interest groups. So again, right-wing, it's political. It's political. How would you feel if your child's elementary school had drag queen story time? How would you feel about that? Would you be down with that? A new project will see drag queens visiting primary schools and libraries in a bid to challenge tolerance and homophobia at a young age. Based on the American project, Drag Queen Storytimes organizers hope to start the scheme at Bristol Pride before rolling out across the country. Founder Tom Canman told the Bristol Post he's already managed to recruit about 30 drag queens who are eager to take part in the project, which will see men dressed as women reading aloud feminist fairy tales and gender-fluid novels for young children. He said, for me, the project is about drag queens providing fun and inclusive reading for children about issues around misogyny, homophobia, racism, LGBT, and gender fluidity in a way that they can understand. This is just freaking brainwashing is what it is. Apparently, most people have responded positively. There was a backlash from a minority of critics who have accused him of being a pedophile and encouraging children to think they are homosexual. This according to the founder, Tom Carnum. He says that they've been calling him that. Drag Queen Storytime has 2 sessions lined up in the near future, and Canham is currently soliciting donations for the project on Crowdfunder to buy books and DBS checks. Don't know what that is. The scheme's aim, according to the crowdfunding campaign, is to capture the imagination and fun of the gender fluidity of childhood while giving children a glamorous, positive, and unabashedly queer role model. Oh, dear Lord in heaven. I mean, dear Lord in heaven. Okay, let's move on to something a little bit lighter. How would you feel if you're a kid's kindergarten teacher with a porn star? I kind of shudder at giving you her name because I know what's going to happen. You're going to pause my podcast and you're going to Google search it. All right. A Christian preschool has fired a kindergarten teacher because she refused to quit her lucrative side job of having sex on camera. Nina Sky is the porn star teacher, and I've got a couple sound bites from a report from the local Fox affiliate where she teaches.
This preschool teacher loves her students.
I have a genuine interest in children.
And she loves helping them learn.
I know what I'm doing when it comes to teaching. I'm a really good teacher.
The preschool teacher loves something else as well.
I love teaching. I love sex. If I can get away with doing both, then I will.
Wow.
This is Nina.
Hello there.
Hi.
Porn actress Nina Sky, coming clean for the first time about the secret she's been keeping from the
Nice to know she's coming clean.
church preschool she teaches at. That's right, a religious preschool.
I guess some people are really tied by that moral code. There's a really big stigma associated with it and how our society views it, but that's not how I am.
We wanted to know what leads someone with a promising teaching career to risk it all and moonlight in the adult film industry.
I'm really open-minded, super open-minded, not judgmental. I don't get why people don't understand that they're against people being porn stars, but they watch it all the time. It doesn't make sense to me.
Now, that is kind of an interesting point, actually. Because, you know, there are probably a lot of people at this church who go home and watch porn. You know? So that's actually a pretty decent point by her. A little bit more from Nina Sky.
Nina says making easy money was one of the things that attracted her to do porn. Making a living as a teacher just wasn't paying the bills.
It is easy money. So for my very first scene, I just did a regular boy-girl scene, and I got paid $2,500 on the spot. I had never had that much money ever, like, just handed to me in my life.
She is 21, though. So she's a preschool teacher. I'm assuming that, I'm not sure what kind of a degree you need for that. She obviously hasn't been teaching very long.
But what about teaching? What about the parents who will see this story? We wanted to know.
What about the dads who will find out about this story and immediately go home and Google search her?
But she thought about the near certainty she'll be fired and perhaps never work as a teacher again.
It doesn't make me an incompetent teacher that I do porn. That's probably how they'll see it, but it's not true.
Nina knows she'll be forced to make a decision sometime soon.
I think I'll still be shocked no matter what. I can't really prepare for that as much as I would like to. I would just probably find another school to work at that's more accepting on that.
I'm thinking you're going to be searching for a while, dear.
That sense.
More accepting? Maybe so. Maybe not. Because one of the preschool's teachers' moonlighting secret is forcing her to see that adult decisions come with adult consequences.
There are times, like, emotionally, I guess, I never thought I would be a porn star growing up. I just seemed different. I always felt like I was the, like, innocent, good girl, sweet girl type, but then when you start doing porn and people don't really see you as that innocent girl anymore, so it's like part of my identity is gone in that sense, and people see who you really are.
Someday she's going to wake up and she's going to go, what the hell? You know, what was I thinking? What in the world was I thinking? And there's going to be a body of work out there, and she's going to have to explain it to, you know, whatever, maybe 10 years down the road. Everybody will forget about it. And she'll be teaching preschool or high school somewhere, and this will come up. You know, this is just ignorance. I mean, she's just ignorant. She is just an ignorant person. That's just all it is. She's a young and dumb and ignorant person who doesn't realize the destruction that she's causing on her life right now as she collects her $2,500 paychecks. Well, that's essential. Nina Sky, okay? Look it up. S-K-Y-E. There you go. You were looking it up anyway. Come on, man. I didn't. Friday's Real Time, Bill Maher had some pretty fun stuff on it. He had some pretty funny things. He talked about Mother's Day and Father's Day, and maybe they should have a Singles Day. And for reasons that you might think, well, you might not think of, and one of them is your carbon footprint, of course. Bill Maher basically said that by not having a child, you're not having 9,000 tons of carbon pumped into the atmosphere, which, I mean, really is pretty impersonal, you know. But he did have some funny things to say. I'll share a few sound bites. And then he's got some Democrat slogans. Slogans for the Democrat Party since they're losing so many elections.
I didn't reproduce day.
Why not? Why not? I want to celebrate that Bill Maher is not procreating.
And let me be clear. I am not saying there's anything wrong with having a small number of children. After all, children are the leaders of tomorrow. Sometimes they're even the leaders of today.
Yes.
I'm just saying, where's the holiday for single people? We don't have a day, only happy hour.
Yes.
But we've spent a lifetime being the cool aunts and uncles. But while we celebrate everybody else, nobody ever celebrates us. And they really should, because you know what Mother Nature loves even more than electric cars? Condoms. There's literally nothing you can do that's better for the environment than to not produce another resource-sucking, waste-making human being, probably with a bad attitude.
And again, well, he is all of those things, by the way. He is all those things. So, yeah, he is not creating that person, and I'm glad.
I didn't bring a kid into the world to consume valuable resources. Where's my breakfast in bed? Where's my coupon good for 1 foot rub? Where's my greeting card that says, roses are red, violets are blue. You help the earth by keeping a lid on your goo.
Okay, all right. Okay. Yeah, you think about it. We're kind of expected to have children, right? When my wife and I were dating and then living together, I was afraid to have children. I was just kind of afraid. I don't know why. There's a lot of reasons. Paging Dr. Freud. But part of it was some difficulties in my childhood, and I didn't want to repeat the sins of the past. And then also there was just a whole responsibility thing. My wife wanted kids. We ended up having 2 great kids. Do I regret it? Not one little bit. A little bit more from Bill Maher.
So, having kids or not having kids, there's not a moral dimension to it. That's what I'm saying. It's just your taste. I don't have kids for the same reason you do, because that's what each of us wants. I get it. Lots of people love kids. Although I must say, no one in the world ever looks happier than when Maury Povich says you are not the father.
Yeah.
You are not the father. You are not the father. You are not the father. You are not the father.
Who watches that stuff? I mean, who watches Maury? Oh, man. Those shows, dear Lord. Now, he did switch into something else that I thought was kind of funny, because last week, Georgia 6 was lost by a Democrat, John Osso. He was a guy who's 30 years old, filmmaker, didn't live in the district, got his butt beat by a Republican. They sunk $30 million into the campaign. He lost. Anyway, Bill Maher had some suggestions for slogans for the Democrat Party since they're losing so many.
For example, look at these posters. Democrats, consistently one of America's top 2 parties.
Nice.
Democrats, thank you, sir. May I have another?
Yes. Yeah.
The Democrats will never make you sick of winning.
Good.
Meh.
Meh. There you go.
Democrats, join the party of Bernie Sanders. Not actually the party of Bernie Sanders. The Democrats preferred 2-1 by non-citizens.
Nice.
The Democrats, let us win one or we'll run Chelsea.
Oh, man.
The Democratic Party, wait, we thought everyone got a trophy. The Democratic Party, float like a butterfly, sting also like a butterfly.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
Democrats, going down the shitter in the bathroom of your choice. And the Democrats, check us out on MySpace.
There you go.
That one killed.
Oh, there you go. Those are good. Those are good. Very nicely written. Very nicely done. I've got a couple of other stories I want to get to. The 90s beverage, alcoholic beverage, that's coming back. I'll share that in just a moment. Also, would your dog eat you if you died in the house? I'm gonna answer it definitively in a moment. Did you hear that police in Florida at the Villages, is this giant retirement community? It's for 55 and over, right? Police in Florida raided the Villages. There was a house there to break up a drug ring. What they didn't realize is there was a golf cart chop shop. Here's the story.
They came in with the SWAT team fully geared up and with their guns drawn.
A little over a month ago, some of the neighbors came to us and said suspected some type of drug activity.
Just a little surprised that this is happening in the Villages, but things like this are happening everywhere.
We actually found some golf cart parts as well. We have had some golf carts have been stolen in the neighborhood within the Villages here, and we are trying to tie possibly these parts into some of the stolen vehicles.
It is sad that, family would take advantage of the elderly like that.
Yeah. Golf cart chop shop only in the Villages. Guy in Southern California. Did you hear about this guy? His name's Jeff Reitz. He has been going to Disneyland every day since the beginning of 2012. He has gone 2,000 days in a row. Now, if you went on the It's a Small World ride 2,000 days in a row, you would be suicidal. And the suicide would have happened at least, I'm saying, 1,998 times ago. Here is the story of this guy.
It's magical. I never expected it was going to turn into this much when I started coming back in 2012.
Whoa, wait a minute. You've been here every day for 2,000 days? Oh my goodness. You're not the only mad one.
Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, those are going to be your cheapest days. They tend to be the lightest days. Saturdays are actually tend to be a little bit better than they are on Sundays because there's more annual passes valid on Sunday.
Okay. Yeah, early in the week is good. If you can do early in the week, it is. It's terrific. It's absolutely terrific. I've been to Disney World a bunch of different times. It is something you ought to do. It is something you ought to do before your kids grow up. It really is something else. Would I want to go every day for 2,000 days? No, I couldn't afford it because it's damned expensive. Everything there is expensive. Everything, the food, feeding your family, expensive. The hotel room's expensive. But definitely, a place. Really is. They say it's a magical place. It is a magical place. I'll give you that. It is a magical place. 90s beverage that's coming back. Would you believe Zima? Premium malt beverage. You've got your Smirnoff Ice, you got your Mike's Hard Lemonade, a few other drinks like that, which are just god-awful sweet. Zima's coming back. It was introduced in 93. I remember my wife and I used to drink it. Lemon lime flavored drink on the shelves, and they took it off in 2008. Nostalgia is a powerful force, so they're going to bring it back. A couple things you don't know about the Zima. It's owned by Miller Coors. Okay. They spent $50 million marketing it during the first year on the market. The name Zima means winter in Slavic languages. Okay. All right. Massive success in the very first year. I think that was the only year my wife and I drank it because we were in our 20s. And I can actually taste it right now. That's very, very familiar beverage. Lots of different Zima flavors were introduced, including pineapple, citrus, tangerine, blackberry, and green apple. God, it's just too sweet, man. The stuff is just too sweet. It never stopped being sold in Japan. Of course, Japan, they also sell panties and vending machines over there. They buy some weird stuff over there. Farmer was caught having sex with a donkey. This happened in South Africa. And the owner reported the sex attack to the village elders, and the village elders said, then you got to marry the donkey. You got to marry the donkey. The ass's owner allegedly demanded that the farmer be forced to take the donkey as a wife. Well, at least he didn't get her pregnant. Unbelievable. All right, two more stories. New survey finds that 8 o'clock Monday morning, the most common time for people having affairs to make contact with the other person. Least popular time is Saturday morning at 10 a.m. My wife's here. All right, so 8 o'clock on Monday morning is the most common time for people to having the affairs to make contact with their other person on the side. Survey also found that the common way people hide their affairs by putting the person in their phone under a fake name or another gender. Second most common way is to use a totally different phone. All right. Would your dog eat you if you died? If you have a cat, you know the answer is yes. What about a dog? This is according to National Geographic. Your dog is a sweet, loyal best friend, right? Well, your dog will eat you. Okay? Wouldn't even wait very long, by the way. Writer for National Geographic looked at cases where people died in their homes to see if their pets ate them. This is bad. Turns out that most dogs reverted to their wild wolf ancestors very quickly, chowed down hard on their owners. In 24% of cases where a person died alone with a dog, the dog started eating them within a day. Oh, gosh, this is sick. And in some of those cases, the dog ate their dead owner, even though they had normal dog food available. So when your dog is licking you, that's not a kiss. They're tasting you. They're going, I can't wait for that person to die. There's really nothing you can do to stop it. Dogs ate their owners even if they had a great relationship with no signs of abuse or neglect. So really, your only hope is that someone finds your body before your dog gets hungry. So that's the final story of the day. I hope you enjoyed the podcast, guys. I greatly appreciate you listening. If you would, please, will you share with a friend? Will you share on social media The Rob Carson Show? It's available on iTunes, iHeartRadio, on SoundCloud, on Audio Boom, on Google+, on YouTube as well. All you got to do is Google Rob Carson Show, The Rob Carson Show. If you could do iTunes, that'd be great. We can track the downloads. And I'm trying to get to 20,000 downloads a day. So if you would share, please, that would be great. Also, share the message of a healthier life with others. And you will if you go to see Dr. Alex Nelson, fountainoflifecairo.com, on North Congress Avenue in Kansas City. You got herniated lower back discs. You know, my wife went in. She actually had shots into her spine. I've had herniated lower back disc, and I've gone and gotten an adjustment and decompression and inversion table, and it worked. It worked. All right? Migraines, back pain, neck pain, all of these things, carpal tunnel neuropathy, they can be greatly relieved or fixed with great chiropractic care. Dr. Alex Nelson, 816-741-4711. 816-741-4711 or fountainoflifecairo.com. That's fountainoflifecairo.com. Thank you for listening, guys. God bless, and we'll see you back here for episode number 122.
Thanks for listening to The Rob Carson Show. Friend him on Facebook at Carson Show, on Twitter at Rob Carson, and on Instagram, I think Facebook and Twitter are enough for now. We'll see you soon.